Number 2. Israel's mission was so important that even people within Israel who were disobedient were killed for threatening the mission. Homosexuals, for example, would spread the disease like AIDS and HIV, and they threatened to pollute the bloodline of Christ, who was to come into the world through Israel to save the world. Number 3. Women in war times were kept alive because they were not threats, but rather than leaving them without their men, they were allowed to live and be assimilated into the Jewish culture and married to a man. This was an act of mercy on God's part. I mean, really, think of the options: dying by a sword or becoming the wife of a man who has a relationship with God, who will treat you well as commanded by Jewish law and will honor you and take care of you for the rest of your life. Not a bad deal, I must say. After a quick Google search, you can find out a few things about the most recent exodus of Venomfangx from the internet, as it would seem. His YouTube channel has been taken down, his website's been taken down, and everyone's wondering what's going on. And I found a website that is just an answer site called reddit.com, and this one guy, apears, A-E-R-S-I-K, has helpfully chronicled the events of the past 2 weeks that have been leading up to this being shut down, and I think it sums it up pretty nicely. He says, all you got to do is watch the videos from DPR Jones and Thunderfoot from the last 2 weeks, and basically it goes like this. Number 1, VFX says he won't ever take donations. VFX creates a website. VFX immediately puts up a donation button on his site. VFX gets fans to give him a new camera. Not pay for one, just give him one. VFX starts a fundraiser. He specifically says he wants to raise $500 a month. He specifically says, with no other possible interpretation, that anything he receives over $500 will be given to Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto. Next day he changes his mind, makes multiple videos changing his contract, now sets it up so that he means he'll count any donation, no matter what it is, as a $1 donator. The next ad stipulates that what he's aiming for is 500 donators. Each donation will only count as $1, regardless of the truth. Says he'll report his earnings at the end of each month, but removes a live counter of his earnings. VFX makes new videos demanding all donators to sign a contract that VFX can use anything in a donation after the first dollar for anything he wants. VFX is publicly shamed into having to ask what his donators want done with his money. A person asks VFX to send his additional cash to Sick Kids Hospital. VFX reports that he refuses to do so, citing that it will give away details as to where he lives, although others have known who and where he is for months. DPR Jones makes a call to various Treasury/Commerce departments in Canada, as well as Sick Kids Hospital, reporting VFX as a fraud. Additionally, DPR Jones DPR Jones shows that since the debacle began, the PayPal account linked to by Venomfangx changes twice, with the previous accounts being deleted. Whether or not the money was moved or refunded is as of yet unknown. Meanwhile, VFX makes videos saying that the reason he needs the money is to pay for car payments, gas money, food and tuition. Someone calls VFX's parents and tells him about it. It comes out that VFX's car payments, gas money, food and tuition are all paid for by his dad. Allegedly, VFX is using all his donations for his site, but in a month he made over $1,000. Not only did he defraud Sick Kids Hospital, but he defrauded everybody. His parents learn that he's taking donations and begin taking measures to stop it. Nothing happens until today. Now, I watched the Jesus Freak 777 video where he talks about how the reason that he left is because of death threats. We've all been through this before, how he was whinging about death threats before. Maybe that is the reason, but he's such a tenacious little turd, and he had his own fully functioning website. I find it so hard to believe that his parents could just waltz in and say, I'm going to pack it up, and we're sorry, we didn't want him to offend everyone. I just don't buy it, okay? I don't. From what I know of Venomfangx, from my own dealings with him, I know that he believes himself to be above the law. And he believes his mission to be above the standards of a functioning society. He has absolutely no problem with scamming and fucking people over to complete his mission. I mean, he's made it clear time and time again to me that he does not believe that the laws of society apply to anyone who preaches the gospel of the Lord. I mean, he believes that to be a get-out-of-jail-free card, but it's just not, as we have seen here. So I don't really know what much else to say. Venomfangx, your activities are criminal. Your treatment of humanity is horrid, and I really hope that you find some perspective someday, because you've got a brand of charisma that is appealing to certain kinds of people, and I don't think you're going to stop. I really don't. I don't believe you want to stop. I believe you're going to continue to manipulate and abuse people to whatever advantage you can, and that you're only going to get better at it. I really genuinely think that we might have another Peter Popoff on our hands. So this is Luke of Troy. A few months ago, when I was writing that first diary, I never expected that I was going to post it on YouTube like this, but I didn't suspect that it was ever going to be as relevant as it is today, and as telling as it is now. And really, I should have seen it coming. I should have seen that this guy that is willing to defend Kent Hovind and is willing to ignore laws over and over, is willing to admit to his criminal activities and then still claim that it was someone else. He clearly is incapable of taking responsibility for his own actions, and incapable of seeing himself as doing any harm. This is Luke of Troy. Fuck you, everybody. Good night.